And that should boost the readings back up into the mid-80s. We'll have complete details of the forecast coming up a little bit later in the news. Right now, your 2019 national champion Lady Bears coverage live starts now.
Expect more. This is Channel 6 News Special Edition. Live coverage of the 2019 Women's Final Four is brought to you by Jeff Hunter Toyota.
Denied by Turner, and that's it. The Baylor Lady Bears, 7 years later, are back at the top of college basketball.
The Baylor Lady Bears are your 2019 national champions. Good evening and thanks for joining us on this special edition of Channel 6 News. I'm Imani Payne. Well, let's kick off our continuing coverage live from Tampa with our sports director, Nick Canizales. Nick, this is a huge win for Baylor.
Oh, absolutely incredible performance. I was nervous throughout the entire game, especially those final seconds. Yeah, Baylor wins their third national title. They pretty much dominated from the opening tip up until Lauren Cox got injured late in the third quarter. But hey, it was enough to win it for Baylor Nation. Let's get to the highlights and show you what I'm talking about. Chloe Jackson, Kalani Brown playing in their final game as a Baylor Lady Bear. Absolutely incredible tonight. Baylor jumped out to a fast start. Lauren Cox played like a woman on a mission. Huge block right there. That would lead to Juicy Landrum on the other end. Baylor Nation loving what they see. Later, Chloe Jackson knocks down an open jumper. Baylor raced out to an 11-3 lead. And then time winding down in the quarter. Dee Richards, the steal. Out to Chloe Jackson, races on the other end, lays it up at the buzzer. Baylor held Notre Dame to just 8% from the opening from the field in the opening quarter. Unbelievable. To the second, Kalani Brown goes to work inside. What a spin move, goes off glass. BU up 11. Under 3 minutes in the quarter. Lauren Cox. She misfires, but Nylissa Smith coming up big all night right there for the putback. Baylor led by 14. Under 5 seconds to go. Jackson off the mark, but Kalani Brown, yes, 20 points, 13 boards for the All-American. Baylor led by 12 at the break. Third quarter, Jackson would put the team on her back. She was 13 of 25 from the field. Lady Bears, they don't shoot a lot of threes, but when they do, it's usually from Juicy Landrum. Nails it from downtown. And then let's fast forward here. A minute 27 left in the quarter. Lauren Cox's knee, it would buckle. She would go down screaming in pain. Just a horrific sight for a young woman who has done so much for this program. She would leave in a wheelchair after scoring 8 points, pulling down 8 rebounds, and blocking 3 shots. Notre Dame would outscore Baylor 26-16 in the fourth to tie the game. 8 seconds left. Chloe Jackson caps off her senior season with a career-high 26 points. Baylor would lead by 2. Notre Dame had a chance to tie it, but they would miss the front end of a 2-shot free throw, and that would seal the deal. And for the third time in school history, Baylor has been crowned national champions. They win 82-81. Lady Bears in the season on a 29-game winning streak. After the game, Kim Mulkey told us, hey, this team dominated tonight.
You know, that wasn't a fluke out there. So don't sit here and write, you know, Baylor lucked up and won on some miraculous shot or they played over their head. If you look at the stats, hell, we shot 60-something% and 50-something% in the first half. Cox goes down and we still keep it up there pretty high. And that's against just a very good team that played a lot of zone that I don't think people thought we could attack a zone because we don't shoot enough threes. Well, the old school won a national championship.
Absolutely. Jessica and I were sitting there on our feet the entire game. You had reaction in the locker room. What did they say?
Well, I mean, this whole night has been extremely emotional. This whole weekend has been emotional for these players. And the scene here on the court after the game was just unbelievable. We had all the confetti.
Love it.
They cut down the nets. There were happy tears. There were all kinds of crazy emotions going on. A lot of dancing, a lot of fun. Dee Richards, of course, she took the drumsticks and played the drums for the Baylor band, which she tends to do when they win, so that was pretty exciting. And then in the locker room afterward, again, everyone was all smiles, wearing their national championship hats, you know, just happy to be here. And I asked them, this was a hard-fought game. Obviously, it came down to the wire. So I asked them after the game, what was going through your mind when the clock finally hit 0?
I wanted to cry, but my lashes would have burned, so, but just a bunch of emotions, and I was just happy for Elsie that we could finish it and get it for her.
A relief, that's what it was. That team fought back, and he fought to the very end. So when that clock hit 0, it was just, it was huge for us because we had players in foul trouble. We had Elsie who just went out, and we needed that. So all our hard work paid off, and when it hit 0-0, we was just like, thank God.
I was just, I don't know, I burst out into tears as soon as the clock hit 0. I was just thinking about my pawpaw. He was from here, so I feel like it was destined for us, to play here, win it all here. I was really excited, but he was the first thing that came to my mind. I would did it for him.
Yeah, and Dee Richards' grandfather did pass away earlier this year, right before the Big 12 women's basketball tournament in Oklahoma City. So she dedicated the rest of the season to her papa, who she talked to after almost every game. So that was a special moment for her, being from this area. So that was great. Just really emotional and exciting. And, it's just crazy to believe that these ladies are the national champions. And Curtis Quillen caught up with some fans outside of Amalie Arena after the win was officially sealed and the Lady Bears were announced as champions. And Curtis, what do those fans have to say?
It was a little stressful for them, Jessica. They filled the seats here all night cheering on their Lady Bears. It was a great crowd. They were loud, and they got quite the show, taking this one down to the wire. But at the end of the night, they get to celebrate a national championship with their Baylor Lady Bears. In fact, take a look at this, the Bear Pit. More excited than anyone I've seen tonight as the Lady Bears cut down the net as national champions for the 3rd time ever. We caught up with fans outside the arena and here during the celebrations. Students who made the bus trip from Waco here to Tampa, Florida. Fans who made the trip. I can't tell you the number of graduates and alumni who made the trip from Central Texas here to the Sunshine State, the West Florida coast, to watch their Lady Bears hoist up another national championship trophy, something that is an overwhelmingly emotional experience for all of them.
I was amazed. The ending was very close. Everybody was cheering. Everybody was insane. So I started high-fiving people I didn't know. I started hugging people I didn't know. It was amazing.
Oh, it's just exciting. It's awesome because I haven't done it before, and so I was glad to make the trip.
I can relate to the gentleman from the Bear Pit. One of the things that happened while I was outside waiting on some fans as the game was ending, a Tennessee Lady Volunteer fan was standing next to me watching the end of this game, and she was clutching my shoulder. I think she bruised it in a couple of spots as she was watching this game because it was such a thriller down on the floor. It was a fantastic game. All of these fans walking out of Amalie Arena tonight smiling from ear to ear as national champions of women's college basketball. That's it for us for now here in Tampa. We will talk to you in a few minutes. For now, we're going to toss it back to Imani Payne in our Temple studio.
All right, thanks, Curtis. Well, meanwhile, back at home, fans joined together at the Farrell Center to watch the Lady Bears in action. Channel 6 News reporter Andrew Moore was there and captured the excitement just minutes after the Bears won. Andrew, I bet it got pretty crazy in there.
Yeah, Monty, these fans were on a roller coaster of emotions tonight after several hundred packed into the Farrell Center. I talked to them both before and after that final whistle. Here's what they said.
Anxious, excited. Going against the defending national champions is huge.
And we win. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, it's going to be real nice.
Keeping the positive vibes.
Baylor fans didn't know what would happen tonight, but they believed in their team and hoped for the best. The Farrell Center erupted constantly as the Bears took the lead.
Everybody was on the edge of their seat. I was nervous. I was, holding my legs, holding my head, shaking a little bit.
Going into halftime, the Bears were ahead, spirits were high, and fans were lost in the moment.
It felt like we were there. It felt like we were at the game. It didn't feel like we were watching it on the screen.
But then the third quarter, the lead started to shrink. Lauren Cox got injured, and after Notre Dame hit a few threes, it was anybody's game.
It was nerve-wracking to say the least, just like they've been saying. My heart rate skyrocketed.
There was every kind of emotion that you could have. There was, I think I was on the ground at some point.
But in those final moments, the Bears took the lead and the stadium erupted.
Here, surrounded by my fellow Baylor Bears, cheering them on. That the last buzzer when they lost that shot and they won by 1 point. We are over the moon right now. Over the moon.
And I'm sure those students are still partying somewhere right now. We're going to have a full recap of that game coming up in sports, but right now I'm sending it right back to you, Monty.
All right, thanks, Andrew. Up next, some proud parents in Tampa right now as the Lady Bears soar to victory. Hear from them next. And later, we continue our coverage of the big win with our sports crew for all the celebrations.
Jeopardy! Weekdays at 4:30 only on Channel 6. Expect more.
Well, the Baylor Lady Bears have taken home the national championship for the third time. Hello and welcome back to Amalie Arena. Guys, the emotion in the stands today with all of the fans, extremely high. The players' emotions also high, but the parents, they were going through a roller coaster of feelings all throughout this game. Now, you saw many families rocking very spirited t-shirts. Chloe Jackson's family, one of the best, they had these bright yellow tees on with her face on the front, cute sayings as well. I spoke to so many moms and dads of these players, and I just asked them what it felt like to watch their daughters live this dream. And you know, for so many, it's also a victory for them, for the families.
It's an awesome feeling. Just watching them play the entire year, I knew that they could get to this point, and today I knew they could win. Even when it was tied up, I knew they could pull through.
On top of the world. On top of the world. Chloe's in her moment. This is what she dreamed of, and she finally gets to the point where she gets to live her dream. And that's every father's and mom's best wishes.
Oh, just great, great. I took the coach's hat off and the mom came out and I was just really, really excited and elated, and I looked at her and she looked at me and I just kind of gave her a little nod.
It's just been a little bit of a roller coaster. Excitement for this team because they deserve it. Just, you know, kind of in limbo, not really knowing what's going on with Lauren, so a little sad. But couldn't be happier for Lauren, this team, and Baylor University.
And that was Lauren Cox's mother talking there. We're going to talk more about Lauren Cox, her injury, and even more so what a boost of energy she gave the team when she came back out of the locker room to sit on the sidelines for them for the rest of the game. That's coming up in just a little bit. Weather is next.